So it's mid-December and it's turned pretty cold, and we're right around the freezing mark, and tomorrow it's supposed to get only get to a high of 23. So we're trying to do some maintenance what we can, given that it's very cold. But I wanted to go over one of the key pieces of equipment that we have, and that's our sprayer for the trees, where we spray our herbicides, insecticides, and without this machine operating well, we would not have very good fruit or any fruit. So let's take a look. Okay, this is our large sprayer, and if you watch the first Valdez video, this is what was hitched to the tractor. And again, this is a key piece of equipment, so we'll take a look at it. By the way, the previous owner valued this at $6,000. Again, like the Weed Badger, it was not independently verified. So we'll take a look and see what we got. We'll start in the front. Power takeoff shaft, which drives all the pump and the fan, everything in the rear. It does have grease, which I was pleasantly surprised. It does have a worn out plastic cover with some holes in it. The jack, the hitch jack, has seen better days, and you can tell by the long bolt there that it's pieced together. So we only have, I think, 2 jacks on the entire farm. If we need to raise something else up with this jack, we'll put some blocks underneath the sprayer, remove the jack, and take it over to the other implement and use it there. Okay, so this is the front of the tank, and first thing I see here is I've got some loose wires, and they've been loose for some time. It doesn't look like they've been used, given that they're frayed and there's no connectors on them. So I don't know what those are supposed to be for. I would assume they're there for a purpose, but I would have to investigate. We'll look at the tank. Got some stains on it. We need to pressure wash this. This is the kind of sprayer that it is. And we'll go around to the back. We'll take a look at the rear workings. There's the other end of the PTO shaft, and it goes into this motor and pump, which you can see with the belts. It drives this large fan, which is inside this hood. The fan pushes air through this ductwork and out to the end, and it blows air out right here. And so why does it blow air out? You can see the plumbing here with the hoses, and you can see this manifold, and it's got a bit of outside corrosion on it. We do have rust in various places. Then anyway, the manifold, the chemical is dispersed through these hoses and out through these nozzles. Now the thing with the nozzles is I don't know when they've been checked. Nozzles do wear out and they do have to be replaced. And another aspect is I don't know when this sprayer was last calibrated. You do have to calibrate sprayers to verify how much chemical is actually coming out. As nozzles wear out, you may get more, you may get less, but you're not getting accurate spray. So what happens is the spray comes out here, and it's in a mist. The high wind from the fan comes out here, and it blows the mist into the trees so that the trees get direct contact and coverage with the herbicide and pesticide that we're spraying. We spray to keep pests away from getting into the fruit. We don't want to get worms in the apples. We don't want bugs, chewing up our branches and leaves and so forth. And we don't want certain diseases to get on the tree, bacterial diseases like blight. Again, that's not a good thing for producing commercial fruit. So that's the one side of the sprayer. Other side is basically the same, and you can take a look at that. The hoses, they're not very supple. They do have some it's like dry rot, or they're getting a little long in the tooth. You can see the distribution, the main hose that comes in, and the valve that goes to the manifold. You can see what kind of condition that's in. You can look back here and again see some corrosion, some rust. Alright, so here on the rear we've got the rear pump, and we've got electronics that kick the spray on and off the solenoids. You see the wiring here. Again, we've got some electrical tape that is holding this together. We got some zip ties that are holding this assembly onto the frame. Over here, we've got our main flow pipes that feed into this large pump. And here's our drive for our fan. Again, the corrosion on that. Then we've got our electric line wiring coming through, and we've got a splice here that we've got twisted wires just wrapped up in electrical tape. So I'm sure it's working, but probably not the best solution. Again, a rig up. Okay, we've got our controller box here. This is what was sitting on the floor of the tractor during the previous video. And we've got our various switches and dials. And luckily this is stainless, so it's not corroding. Again, do have some wiring. Here we actually have connectors, which is surprising. But let's see what we have on the other end. And again, we have some connectors. So that is surprising. Got a ground and a power. This goes to the battery. The power does. The ground, I didn't see where they had that at. But yeah, got some connectors there. So that's somewhat of an improvement. However, let's look at this. This end of the wires, I'm not sure where this end goes, to be honest. Trying to trace it here, but take a look at the ends here. We've got some crimp connectors that are crimped and the wires have been pulled out of, and we've got some electrical tape that was pulled off the other end. This can't be doing anything actually, because there's no way that you're connecting to these crimp connectors in the condition that they're in. Nor do you. These are not connect and disconnect type of connectors. They're more of a permanent connector, as long as you don't pull too hard on them. All right, so I think I see what's going on here. This is supposed to go to this. I don't know how they do that. I guess it must be rigged up each time, and that's interesting. So we'd probably spend 20 minutes each spray getting this connection rigged up. So yeah, that sort of makes a little bit of sense. So yeah, that's our primary sprayer. Without this operating correctly, we are dead. Got to have this sprayer operating. So let's hope it holds together. This is our secondary sprayer, or basically weed sprayer. This is for getting low and getting underneath the trees. We want to keep the weeds down under the trees, so the tree's not competing with the weeds for nutrients. This is the sprayer that would have kept the weeds down, that I ended up trying to mow with the Weed Badger 4000. So let's take a look at this sprayer in a little more detail. It is a homemade frame sprayer, which nothing wrong with that if it is designed well and works. So let's take a look. All right, so the first piece that we have is the tank, and you can see that it's secured with ratchet straps, and it's supported onto the frame with a couple of sets of boards. It's like the 2x8 goes all the way across, and then there's a 2x4 wedging that in there. Same thing over here, a 2x8, and then we got the 2x4 that is acting as a wedge to keep that tank from dropping off. So let's go around. We got our spray manifold here, shows our pressure that we need. Got our hoses. These reach up to the tractor, but here is our typical setup. We've got looks like duct tape in this case, and one zip tie keeping these hoses bound to the tongue of the sprayer so they don't get wrapped up. Yep. Here we've got a screen filter in line, and what this does is get some major particles out of the chemical solution if there's any water contamination, large objects floating. But let's look at this. This is just a piece of wire, and it's being used to suspend the filter, I suppose, to the tractor. So it's basically hanging like that, and this wire is tied around something on the tractor, and it's suspended that way. So again, I think it falls into the rig category. We go over here, we've got a produce tote, this black crate that is acting as a toolbox of sorts, and we've got the PTO pump resting here. It actually hooks to the rear of the tractor, and again, we're using the ratchet strap to keep the tote tied to the frame. Move around, and I want to look at the rear of this because it's quite interesting. This is called a boom sprayer, and these red arms are the booms, and you can move them in and out. But basically, say you're travel mode is put in, and then spray mode is put out. And what interests me here is the way they're suspended to the frame. So you can see this piece of PVC pipe, which is attached to the frame of the sprayer using electrical tape this time, and quite a bit of it. However, it's getting old and it's about to break off. However, then a backup system is this piece of clothesline rope that you can see is looped over all the way across and down. That is it's also supporting the PVC pipe, which in turn is supporting the spray booms. Now the spray booms are attached to the PVC pipe using hose clamps there and there. So we got that suspended. Here we got the network of excess ratchet strap, and it's tied off there. So let's look at part of the supply hose that's going to the nozzles on this boom. And I've got a T here with no outlet. It just goes straight to the ground, and I'm not sure what that's about. Otherwise, it's got spray head there, spray head there, spray head there. I haven't seen this part of the sprayer work, so I don't know how well it does. On this side, we've got just 3 spray heads. We don't go all the way out to the end, and I'm sure there's some reason for that, but I don't know what it is. On this end, again, we've got electrical tape holding up the PVC pipe, which again is holding up the boom, and the cotton rope wraps up on this end as well. I just noticed that the tires are not in the best of shape. Looks like they're recaps anyway, but you can see they're splitting off and coming apart. Plus they're pretty well dry rotted. But we got a Caterpillar. Looks like he's getting ready to go to sleep for the winter time. To actually get under the tree, we have a different boom, and that's this piece of square tubing here, and this attaches to the tractor frame. I have worked with this a little bit. It's got a hose that comes out, and we've got 2 nozzles here, and this reaches from the tractor out underneath the trees. I do have new nozzles put into here, and new screens as well, so I know these work. The thing that is an issue though is how this boom is mounted to the tractor and used to get under the trees. So we'll go over and take a look at that. So this is our second tractor. It's a Massey Ferguson 271 XE. You may have caught glimpses of this when we were filming the Weed Badger. So it's got a front end loader on it, and you can see that in the frame of the loader, by design, there's 2 cross member pipe that are hollow. So that square tubing that we just looked at, it actually is being slid through this tubing, and it is clamped somehow, so that doesn't, I guess, slide in and out. And that is the tubing would come out, out here, several feet, and the tractor goes down the center of the row, and the tubing is spraying, out here. So that spray underneath the trees, that needs to be applied at around 18-24 inches high. And so what's been done on this is a guesstimation whenever it's being applied of about how far it needs to be. Interesting thing about this is the front end loader of this. It does bleed a little bit and therefore doesn't stay in a constant position. It does start seeping down, and with gravity it gets closer to the ground. So you've got to pay attention and keep it raised up. I'm not sure how that was achieved. So again, I'm not sure what accuracy our spray was applied at, and whether we used too much, not enough, that sort of thing. So I will do a review on this tractor. It is better than the Valdez, but it does have a few issues that are interesting, and so I'll point those out at a later time. So that's it for the sprayers. Please recommend the channel to your friends, comment, rate, subscribe, and till next time.